Potato chips. In 1853, a cook named George Crumb was working in a restaurant in Saratoga Springs when a customer repeatedly complained that his fried potatoes were too thick. Frustrated, Crumb sliced the potatoes extremely thin, fried them until they were crisp, and added extra salt, expecting the customer to dislike them. Instead, the customer loved them. The thin, crunchy slices quickly became popular in the restaurant and later spread across the United States. What started as a small act of irritation eventually turned into one of the most widely consumed snack foods in the world. Chocolate chip cookies. In the late 1930s, Ruth Wakefield was baking cookies at the Toll House Inn. She expected small pieces of chocolate mixed into the dough to melt and blend completely, creating chocolate cookies. Instead, the chocolate pieces held their shape during baking, leaving soft chunks scattered throughout the cookie. The unexpected texture and flavor combination quickly became a favorite among guests. The recipe spread rapidly, and the chocolate chip cookie soon became one of the most iconic desserts in American baking. Popsicles. In 1905, an 11-year-old boy named Frank Epperson accidentally created a frozen treat. One evening, he left a cup of powdered soda mix and water outside on a porch with a stirring stick still inside. Overnight, the temperature dropped below freezing, and a liquid froze solid around the stick. The next day, he discovered he could hold the stick and eat the frozen drink like a dessert. Years later, he began selling the treat and eventually patented it, turning a simple childhood accident into the frozen snack now known as the popsicle. Corn Flakes. In the 1890s, brothers John Harvey Kellogg and Will Keith Kellogg were experimenting with wheat-based foods at the Battle Creek Sanitarium. One day, they left cooked wheat sitting out for too long. When they tried to roll the stale grain through rollers, it broke into thin flakes instead of forming dough. Curious, they toasted the flakes and discovered they were crisp and pleasant to eat. This accidental discovery later inspired the development of breakfast cereals, eventually leading to the creation of the company Kellogg's. Sandwich. The modern sandwich became popular in the 18th century thanks to John Montagu, 4th Earl of Sandwich. According to common accounts, he wanted to continue playing cards without stopping for a full meal. He asked for meat placed between two slices of bread so he could eat with one hand while continuing the game. The simple arrangement proved convenient and practical, and others began ordering the same meal by asking for the same as sandwich. What began as a practical solution for eating quickly eventually became one of the most universal food formats across cultures. Ice cream cone. In 1904, at the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair, an ice cream vendor reportedly ran out of bowls. Nearby, a waffle seller was making thin pastries. To solve the problem, the waffles were rolled into cone shapes and used to hold scoops of ice cream. The combination turned out to be both convenient and enjoyable, allowing people to walk while eating their dessert. The edible cone quickly became part of the experience, and the ice cream cone soon became part of the experience around the world. Worcestershire sauce. In the 1830s, chemists John Wheely Leah and William Henry Perrins attempted to recreate a sauce requested by a British nobleman who had tasted something similar in India. Their first mixture smelled so unpleasant that they stored it away in a cellar and forgot about it. Months later, they rediscovered the barrel and noticed that the sauce had transformed through fermentation. The harsh flavor had mellowed into a complex, savory taste. That accidental aging process created what is now known as Worcestershire sauce. Cheese. One of the oldest accidental foods may be cheese itself. A widely repeated historical theory suggests that early travelers carried milk in containers made from animal stomachs. These containers naturally contained an enzyme called rennet. As the milk moved and warmed during travel, the rennet caused it to separate into solid curds and liquid whey. Instead of spoiling, the curds formed a new food that was easier to preserve and transport. Over time, people learned to control this process, eventually turning an accidental discovery into the long tradition of cheesemaking. Yogurt. Yogurt likely appeared thousands of years ago when milk was stored in warm environments where natural bacteria were present. As the bacteria fermented the milk, it thickened and developed a slightly sour flavor. Instead of discarding it, early communities discovered that the fermented milk lasted longer than fresh milk and could be easier to digest. The process gradually became intentional, spreading across regions such as the Middle East, Central Asia, and parts of Europe. What may have begun as simple milk left too long in the heat eventually became a staple food in many cultures. Toasted ravioli. Toasted ravioli is closely associated with St. Louis. One story suggests that a cook in an Italian restaurant accidentally dropped ravioli into hot oil instead of boiling water. Rather than throwing them away, the fried pasta was served anyway. The result was a crisp outer layer with a warm filling inside, often served with tomato sauce for dipping. The dish quickly became a local specialty and remains a signature food of the city today.